The Galactic Academy's orientation hall buzzed with the nervous energy of 100 different species. Lisa Chen sat between a crystalline Vexorian whose body refracted light in dizzying patterns and a methane-breathing Kroloth encased in its environmental suit. She tried not to stare at either of them. "Welcome, students," Professor Thelkara announced, her four eyes scanning the assembled crowd. The Quellan instructor's reputation preceded her. She had taught physics to 73 generations of spacefaring civilizations. Today we begin with fundamentals, a simple exercise to calibrate our understanding of universal constants. Max Rodriguez, sitting 3 rows behind Lisa, leaned forward with interest. He'd fought hard for his scholarship to the Academy, the first human accepted in the decade since Earth joined the Galactic Coalition. He wasn't about to waste it. "We will calculate gravitational force," Thelkara continued, her translator rendering her clicks and whistles into perfect standard. "Please access your homeworld's data and compute the force required for a standard leap, what your species considers a normal jump." The hall filled with the soft chirps and hums of students, interfacing with their data terminals. Lisa pulled up Earth specifications. 9.8 meters per second squared, standard atmospheric pressure, her own mass of 62 kilograms. She ran the calculations quickly, years of high school physics coming back to her. For a typical jump of about half a meter, accounting for the force needed to overcome gravity and achieve that height. She input her answer, approximately 1/200 newtons of force sustained for roughly 0.2 seconds. Around her, other students were finishing their calculations. The Vexorian beside her displayed a result of 340 newtons. The Kroloth's readout showed 890 newtons, impressive for their heavy worlder status. Professor Thelkara's expression shifted as the results compiled. Her skin's chromatophores flickered through colors Lisa's human eyes couldn't fully process. "There must be an error. Human students, please verify your calculations." Lisa double-checked her work. The math was correct. She glanced back at Max, who shrugged and nodded. His results matched hers. "Professor," Lisa said, raising her hand hesitantly, "I've verified. The calculation is accurate." A ripple of movement spread through the hall. The Vexorian beside Lisa angled one faceted surface toward her, its equivalent of shocked attention. Whispers in a dozen languages filled the air. "You're claiming," Thelkara said slowly, "that an average human generates 1,200 newtons of force for a simple recreational movement?" "A leap? Yes, ma'am," Max called out from his seat. "That's pretty standard. Some humans can jump higher, so more force." The professor's manipulator appendages moved across her own terminal, with increasing agitation. "Class, let me provide context. The Vexorians, whose world has 0.6 Earth gravity, generate an average of 320 newtons for their maximum jumping capacity. The Kroloth, from a 1.4 gravity world, produce 890 newtons for the same action, and they are considered the strongest species in the Coalition." Lisa felt every alien eye in the room turned toward the human students. She shifted uncomfortably in her seat. "Humans operate under a 1.0 standard gravity," Thelkara continued, her voice carrying an edge of disbelief. "Yet you casually generate force exceeding our strongest species for what you describe as a normal activity." "It's just jumping," Lisa protested weakly. "We do it all the time. Children do it on playgrounds." "Your children." The professor seemed to be processing this information with difficulty. "Demonstrate, please." Lisa stood, suddenly aware that she might be making a terrible mistake. But the entire class was watching, and backing down now would be worse. She bent her knees and jumped, nothing fancy, just a regular hop that carried her maybe 30 centimeters off the ground. She landed with a soft thud. The silence in the hall was absolute. The Kroloth beside her made a sound like escaping gas, their species' expression of shock. The Vexorian had gone completely transparent, a stress response Lisa had read about but never witnessed. "Again," Thelkara commanded. "Jump as high as you can." Lisa crouched deeper and launched herself upward with real effort this time. She cleared nearly a meter, her hands briefly above the heads of every seated student. When she landed, several aliens in the front row had scrambled backward. Max, emboldened by Lisa's demonstration, stood up. "Want to see something cooler?" Without waiting for permission, he performed a standing backflip, his athletic background in parkour making the movement smooth and effortless. The hall erupted in chaos. Students were shouting in their native languages, some backing away, others pushing forward for a better look. Professor Thelkara's skin had turned a solid dark purple, an emotional response that Lisa's orientation materials suggested meant profound recalibration of worldview. Order! Thelkara's voice cut through the noise. Sit down, all of you, humans. Please remain standing. Lisa and Max exchanged nervous glances as the room settled. 4 other human students had risen and were now clustered together at the front. I have taught physics for 340 standard years, the professor said quietly. In that time, I have learned that the universe always has surprises. But this, she gestured at the humans with one manipulator. Your species evolved on a death world. I knew this intellectually, but I never considered what that meant for your physical capabilities. Death world? Lisa asked. Earth is pretty nice, actually. A sound rippled through the alien students, laughter or its equivalent. The tension broke slightly. Your gravity would crush half the species in this room over time, Thelkara explained. Your atmospheric pressure would rupture Vexorian crystalline structures. Your viral and bacterial load would overwhelm most immune systems, and yet you consider it pretty nice. She made a sound that the translator rendered as a sigh. I think we need to recalibrate more than just this exercise. The coalition may have significantly underestimated humanity's capabilities. Max grinned. So does this mean we get extra credit? Despite herself, Lisa laughed. Around them, the other students were recalculating, reassessing, seeing humans with entirely new eyes. She caught the gaze of a small furry Pelthian across the room, its expression somewhere between awe and fear. This was going to be an interesting semester. Professor Thelkara's chromatophores finally settled into a calm blue. Class dismissed. Humans, please see me after. We need to discuss your physical education curriculum. I suspect we may need to design something substantially more challenging than what we currently offer. As the hall emptied, Lisa and Max stayed behind with their fellow human students. Through the windows, they could see alien students clustered in groups, gesturing animatedly and glancing back at the humans. You know what's funny? Max murmured to Lisa. We didn't even tell them about adrenaline yet. Lisa smiled. The galaxy, she realized, had no idea what humanity was truly capable of, and they just learned it from a simple physics exercise. The future suddenly seemed a lot more interesting.